Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Goodtaste TV.
Thank you to our sponsors. In Houston's culinary world, she's known as the Truffle Lady. A French native and Texan by choice, Diane Roederer is the visionary behind DR Delicacy, the undisputed leader in luxury ingredients. From the world's finest truffles and caviar to the most exquisite mushrooms, she's bringing rare, high-end delicacies to top chefs, restaurants, and discerning food lovers. But Diane's passion doesn't stop at sourcing the best. It extends to celebrating them. For 11 years, the Truffle Masters has been the must-attend event for gastronomes and industry leaders alike. The city's finest chefs compete with masterfully crafted truffle-infused dishes, delivering an unforgettable night of indulgence, all while supporting a great cause. Proceeds benefit Southern Smoke. Visit drdelicacy.com to secure your spot at the Truffle Masters 2025. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Good Taste for the Soul. I'm Tangi Patton. Are you ever intrigued by artists? I am. For instance, their talent. Are they born that way? Can you take classes if you're not born with artistic talent? I don't think there's enough classes in the world to help me. Also, what inspires an artist to do a particular piece of work? On a recent trip to Santa Fe, my husband and I took a stroll down Canyon Road. It's lined with beautiful galleries. We were looking for a painting for a specific spot in our home, and we looked at dozens and dozens of pieces. Well, then we walked into a gallery and saw the one. Not only were the colors beautiful, but the piece clearly had a message. It spoke to me. I saw light, I saw hope, joy, and people walking towards those things. I researched the artist. Her name's Leticia Herrera, and I was so excited to find out she's a fellow Texan. I was so intrigued with her work that I wanted to find out more, and I wanted to share that beauty with all of you. Leticia joins us now. Okay, well, Leticia Herrera, welcome. I'm really thrilled to officially meet you. As you know, we met because my husband and I bought one of your walkers, one of your beautiful art creations.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me in your show, Tangi. And I am very happy to meet you. And I really appreciate you taking a piece of my work to your home. That means so much to me. Thank you.
Well, the piece spoke to us. For those who are not familiar, and I had never seen your work before till we went to Santa Fe, and you were in one of the galleries there. And feel free to name the gallery if you want. Some people may be interested that may be planning
Yes,
it.
Thornwood Art Gallery in Canyon Road in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Mm-hmm.
And that's always such a fun journey, right, on Canyon Road. There's so many galleries and so many beautiful, beautiful creations. But yours spoke to my husband and me. The colors are just beautiful. And there is a certain theme, at least I thought so looking at it, because you had a showing going on at the time. So there were probably 7 or 8 pieces of your work there. And there was this common theme, and there seemed to be a source of light and what appeared to be people, really pretty oil figurines, if you will, moving toward the light. So tell me, when you came up with the walkers, what was your inspiration?
The walkers started close to 6 years ago, and actually I was inspired by by my message that I've been searching for a way to tell my message through my art all my life since I've been painting. And at that moment, I was working in another piece, and I was experimenting in my studio, and I always paint with thick oil painting in pastels in my abstract work. And as I was experimenting in my studio late that evening, I put the little figure like in a very rough canvas, and then I for some reason I didn't plan it. I didn't plan to look like people, but my instinct just kind of like did the people. and I'm always been obsessed with the shadows. And I did the shadows, and I realized, and I made them to go somewhere. And for me was the light that was going through. And from there, I started developing the series, and I wanted a name it was very meaningful to the theme of my message. And I came up with the name Walkers. And because I believe we all are walkers in life, we all as humans are walking in our lives, searching for this beautiful light, whatever it means to you, whatever it means to me, could mean like it's joy and spirituality, hope, unity. I mean, all those beautiful things, God, many things. I mean,
Yeah.
and I wanted represent us humans together searching for that. So I thought we were walking towards.
Well,
And
did you
also,
go ahead?
no, and also the shadows, like the light, we're walking with that light, not just where we're going, but in our journey.
The light is with us as we're seeking or on the
Right,
path, maybe.
right. Very ideal or naive, but that's what I want for humans.
Did you have any idea when you started these that you would still be doing them? Artists often go through phases, and that's why it's interesting to look at their work over a longer period of time, because they do transition into other things, or they evolve, or they get even more talented. This one has been quite successful, hasn't it?
Yes, it has been, and I am so grateful for that. And I cannot believe I'm still doing them, and I'm still gonna be doing them. And I wasn't planning. Actually, I was always looking for having, a mark in my work. But then I gave up. I was like, I'm just gonna do all kinds of stuff, and because artists, we are like that. We like to do all kinds of stuff, and we don't want to be stuck in something. We evolve, and as we walk, right? But
Right.
and when I decided that I was just going to do whatever I want to do without having a mark or some kind of work that people would recognize my work for, the walkers happened. And it was supposed to be a series of 10 paintings, as I usually do and did in my work. And all of a sudden, it's just, I'm still 6 years later and telling the same message with my work. And
Wow.
it's
Maybe
kind of
it's a
hard to
message
believe.
that needs to be heard or seen.
Right, right. It's very important to me in my work, the message that people feels when they see my work, that joy and some kind of hope, and that we are, together, and we are the same yet different and unique. And it's just and that we walk with light. So that message for me was important, for people to feel that they are safe in this world.
Well,
And that's
I enjoyed finding out too that you're in Dallas, a fellow Texan,
yeah.
which I did not know when we bought the piece. I don't recall the gallery owner. He may have told us that, but I don't remember that. But it was really fun to find that you're a fellow Texan. I would imagine too, as an artist, especially one that's showing in galleries all over, which your work is, that it's fun to hear back from the people who loved your art and purchased it. Have you heard any stories you want to share about certain people or how it touched them in different ways?
Sure. I mean, one of the things that I love is exactly that people get to open and really be really open about intimate moments of their lives. And I could tell you a lot of stories, but I'm going to share one or two. I was showing in a festival one day, and I noticed this man coming into my booth, and he was looking at the work, and he went into the corner, and when I turned, he was crying. He was really emotional, and he was crying, and I was okay. I gave him the space. I have a lot of people that sometimes when they see my work, they cry. They really get really emotional when they really touch them for different reasons, right? But this man in particular was a crazy this is the only story I've heard that when he finally came to me and talked about a lot of stuff, he said that he was someone that he usually sees souls, and that the color of the souls have been following him all over his life. And I went like, whoa. And he says it's something very beautiful that happens to him, and he feels these beautiful whatever presence souls. And he said that when he came into my booth and he saw the colors that I used and the message and everything, that he felt as close as he can be when he sees the colors of the souls he sometimes sees. He doesn't control it. And he said he got the chills and that he couldn't control himself and he started crying. He called me and we started crying. I was like,
Oh,
what?
no.
I mean, I felt like that's a crazy story, but that's what he told me. And I actually, he came back again to another show, and I mean, like, that was very special because I've never heard anything like that. I mean, I think he was a medium or something. And and that's what he told me. I was like, whoa, I just, that was something beautiful. And sometimes people, other stories, sometimes people cry. Like there was a they get so emotionally. One time, a friend of mine lost her daughter, and during COVID, I was about to stop painting the walkers, and then after COVID, I thought, humanity together, we are gonna be okay. And then I painted my first painting after I was about to quit, and in that particular painting, I wanted to put the sky, and I thought about my friend that lost her beautiful daughter, and I remember I put I posted on my Instagram, and I just said, "Oh, this is for all of us that have lost. You guys going. I cannot paint paradise because it's impossible to paint it, but just feel that they're gonna be okay." And she said, that she felt really good knowing that her beautiful daughter was going to a beautiful place. And the same thing happened to another lady that her dad had passed away and just bought the painting because she felt that he was going to be in a beautiful place. And that kept me going. That was something very strong for me that kept me going. I said, if I can make people feel good, either way. I mean, for some people is that, for other people is because they like the light and they like the ocean and they feel like they're in the ocean, or I don't know. It's just they get very emotional sometimes, and that for me is very important.
Well, do you think, was there like one moment when you had the idea of the walkers? Did it come to you just, I mean, some people get ideas in the shower, some in the middle of the night. Um,
I don't think it was an idea, actually. I don't think I was looking to have that. It just happened. I've been influenced all my life, or I'm inspired by humans all my life. I'm inspired by the kindness of humanity. That inspires me, right? That's my inspiration. Humans.
right.
I have hope. My influences are all the artists that I've seen since I was a little girl. Like the all of the artists that like I remember when I saw you probably have I don't know if you're familiar with it, Gregory Colbert. He's a photographer, and one day I saw his work. He photographs animals and humans together in a very like beautiful way. And I remember crying because of the music and everything. And his show is Snow and Ashes, like a long time ago. I was very young, and I just bawled. I cried because he touched my soul. There was something about his work I couldn't explain that really touched, right? So, and I wanted my work to really be meaningful. When people see it at the moment, they don't know what they see, they can't explain, but they get touched. And I wanted that in my work. So that was a big influence. And and I had so many artists that have influenced me with abstracts and impastos and so many artists that I've seen over the years in my artistic life. Um, but but that happened. I wasn't planning the walkers. It just and I think it was what's happening at the moment too.
Well, there's been a lot of tumultuous times in our most recent past, right?
Right, exactly. And I think that, the walking and all the people together, at that time, I'm thinking about the immigrants coming to the USA and, struggling. And so in my mind, all the remember like 5, 6 years ago, like the pictures and it's, everybody walking, trying to get to the land of opportunity, to the joy. And that was on my mind because that was on the news. That was happening all over
Right.
the world. And so I think that unconsciously, I wanted to, but I didn't want to focus in that. I want to focus in the world, in you and me and everybody, because we all are immigrants of the world. So that's why it's universal. It could be anybody.
Absolutely. Now, when did you start? Because there are so many talented artists among us, locals on every level, really. When
Unbelievable.
did you
Yes.
when did you start becoming successful or selling? Do you remember when you sold your first piece?
Yes. When I sold my first piece was in college. A friend
Wow.
of mine, I would never forget that. $30. I think $35. I was like, wow. It was really cool. It was really cool. I've been an artist all my life, and I have ups and downs. When I first started as a professional, my first solo exhibition in Mexico, it was maybe 30 years ago. I had a break. I had the help of my family, and I had this big solo show in this museum in Mexico, and that was whoa. I'm gonna start here, but no, it was ups and downs. I did really well in that exhibition. I sold a little bit to friends, and then I was starting to do really well. But artists, we tend to boycott our career. And I quit and came back to work and got another job. I couldn't support myself with my art. I mean, it's hard to be an artist, to start to be an
Yes.
artist. I mean, I've been an artist all my life, and with ups and downs and going back and forward now, but uh,
Where do you
it's,
think you go next? What are you already getting inspiration from what the next Beyond the
yes,
Walkers will be?
yes, I am hoping to keep really showing my work, to more people, to people get the message of my work, because I really do think it's beautiful message. And I don't know, hopefully I can keep showing it in big. I mean, like, of course, an artist as aspirations, as being aspirations, I want to show it. I want to paint bigger. I want to paint
Bigger
huge
in
paintings,
size or bigger
bigger
in
in size, and also want to be able to show them in bigger places like museums or like galleries and festivals. As long as I can do this and I can create the pieces, and as long as people are still connecting to my work, I believe I should be doing it. Of course, I want to do other
yeah,
things, and I do. I paint other things in the site whenever I have time, but um, maybe they will evolve. I don't know. I don't know. I like the
yeah.
unexpected adventure.
I agree. I'm always curious with artists because I am the opposite of an artist. I couldn't even draw stick figures well. I'm serious. That is just not my gift. When you're working on a piece, how do you know the piece is done? You know what I'm saying? How do you know
Yeah.
when to stop and just let it be? And
Wow, that's a good question, because artists, we have a tendency to be very critical. Oh no, it's not done. I don't know. There are certain pieces that boom, they're just, I know they're done. Especially like, for example, this piece right here in the background. I put a lot of walkers, and then I wanted to put more, but then I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I think that's it. That's it. So I knew it. So I still gonna add a little bit more light, so obviously, but it's close to be done. There are other pieces in my studio that I've been having them with me since 15 years ago, and I've been changing them and changing them and changing them, and they're still not done. for some reason or another. There are some other pieces that I just put them in my bad paintings back wall closet where I just put them there, and maybe I'll pick them up someday. And
Well, you have a very good eye, clearly, as an artist. The colors, all of the walkers, I guess, from at least the ones I've seen on your Instagram and then online, the color schemes are different in each one often,
right,
but they're just beautiful together, if that makes sense. Some are quite dramatic, right? I mean, I
right.
think I saw one done in grays and charcoal. They're all different. What were you thinking when you did the ones? Was there something that came to mind when it was all the dark and gray?
All the dark and gray, and I when I do dark backgrounds, and gray backgrounds, like really dark, I always feel that there's always the light coming through. Like there's always light in the dark. You know what I mean? I
Oh,
always think,
okay.
and I always love, and that's one reason. And the other one, I just love the darkness, and when the moon is out. Have you ever noticed how bright? I'm sure everybody's noticed that. How beautiful and brightful the moon is, and you almost don't need light, but
Yeah.
she's receiving the light from the sun, and she's the moon is like in the darkness. You could see the little light, and scenes like that. It's like I want people to feel, because she can brighten the whole place without having light, without having a source light. So that's I sometimes I feel about
Yes.
humans that way. If you're a person that walks with light, you can touch another person and kind of lighten that person, and then that person can light other person, even though, you know what I mean? It's just, I
Yeah.
feel
No,
about
and
these things. It's crazy.
Leticia, I absolutely love that analogy. I'd never thought about that. The moon doesn't, it's not, its source is the sun.
Right, right. So I always feel that way. I feel that way if it's just, if it's contagious. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
I don't have that source, but if I'm touched and if I open my heart to let that light in, then I can, I can give you my light, even though it's coming. It's. I always think about those things. It's very, very crazy, but I do.
No, it's not crazy at all. It's not crazy at all. It's kind of like something as simple as a smile. Smiles are contagious too.
They are super contagious. Yes, they are super contagious. I mean, I always tell my people around, when you go to the grocery store, sometimes there's a someone like really like, yeah, and you know they're not having a good time, and then if you smile at them and you say, hi, how are you doing? You're having a good day. I mean, their whole, oh, thank you, and thank you so much. I mean, they change. It's kind of like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I think it's kindness. It's contagious. That's why I'm inspired by humans that are kind, because it is really contagious. It could go the other way too, but let's
But
focus in
no,
the.
it is.
Uh-huh.
It absolutely is. What would you say to an artist that's maybe starting out or has been working at it for a long time? Like you say, you're your best boycotters of your own career, because it is, I would imagine, very hard to get a leg up and get noticed and make a living off of it. What kind of words of inspiration would you have for the wannabe artist or the struggling artist? Because I'm sure there's many.
Yes, I was one of those. Yeah, very young, and I quit many times. And I mean, if I would be telling them, I would be telling them to be patient. Success doesn't come right away, and it's gonna be a tough road. But I mean, there are so many opportunities for artists how to show and start, with not a lot of money, because some things, I mean, like material, everything is, and just stick with your dream. I mean, and dream big, but little by little, because it's not gonna come everything right away. At least it was not for me. I've been in this for a very long time, and I started to have success little by little by little, and working hard. It's not gonna come free, and nobody's gonna discover you. Like nobody. I used to think, oh, someone someday is gonna look and they're gonna discover me. No, 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 no. You gotta do the work. You gotta put yourself out there. You gotta show your work. Let the world see your work wherever you can, however you can, and do not quit. Keep dreaming hard. Make the work.
So I have one final question. When you stand in front of your work, how does it speak to you?
Oh, okay. For me, it speaks joyful, happy. It speaks to me that hopeful, but mostly like very, very happy and find joy, I'm playing in a joyful, beautiful world. It's like I'm walking in this joyful place, and a place of where you can be safe. I like humans to feel safe. So that's what it speaks to me. I mean, like, and I hope people, when they look at my work, feels the same way or something similar. You
Yeah.
know, that's what I
No,
want.
I like that. What are you working on now?
Okay, I'm working on this piece right here. If you look at it, like I'm gonna show it to you. It's a wall.
Right.
The walkers are gonna be there getting into the wall. I don't know if you could see what
Like
it
there's a
is.
hallway.
And
Yeah.
there's a hallway, and in the wall, there's all these positive messages of love and hope and kindness, finding hope, healing of the broken hearts, dream big, love. And the walkers are gonna be walking towards that light. And it's within my series of walkers, I have collections. So this is I call it my word and my graffiti collections, thinking that words matter, like uh, encouragement. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of, the graffiti wall, but all the messages in there is joy and happy faces and just very, very positive. I don't know, graffiti, whatever messages that they go. So I'm working in that piece right now, and I will be actually in 2 or 3. If I tell you around my studio, you will see like all the pieces back there in that corner right there.
Yeah.
They're not done yet, but they're ready to go, and I have another piece behind it. So I usually work like 5 or 6 pieces going on right now.
Wow. At a time. How long does it on average take you to finish one piece?
I mean, if I only work in that piece and nothing else, it will probably take 3 weeks to 1 month because of the oil, and the oil is oil. So the big figures, I don't know if for your viewers to see I'm going to take you around the painting so you could see how thick they are. I don't know if you could see the thickness,
Oh, yeah.
the thickness of them. And
Yeah. They're
so,
really
in
thick.
order for them to dry, because it's oil, it will dry like 3 or 4, maybe a week to the touch. And then I keep, and then the background is also 2 or 3 layers. And so it will take me 3 to 4 weeks, and the oil will not be dry because it takes a long, 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 long time to, like the figures will be smooshy. You
So
probably they're still smooshy for a long time. I mean, it takes a year sometimes, years, but
really, I don't know when you painted mine, but I don't think they're smooshy, but I'm very careful with it
just treat them
nonetheless.
like if they're humans. We're like soft in
Yeah.
the inside.
Right? Exactly. No, they're just beautiful. Have working on the walkers given you patience? Because I would think, or
Yes.
maybe you're used to.
Oh, yes, yes. I have to wait. Sometimes, yeah, I have to be patient, and I have to try to experiment other mediums that are probably more reliable in drying faster. But no, I like the medium. Finally, I like this medium for the walkers. We'll
Well,
see. We'll see what happens.
They're just beautiful. They really are. And I love following you on Instagram. Give everyone your address so they can go back and look at
Oh,
some of your beautiful work. You do
thank
your feed
you.
is quite fun.
Thank you. I am Leticia Herrera Art.
That's easy.
Leticia with a C, Herrera double R, Art. And or if you do the Walkers of Leticia Herrera or something like that, you'll find me. You'll find me. I hope so. I'll
No,
post.
you're easy to find. And I would imagine too, you post your shows and where you'll be at different times.
Yes, through my Instagram, it's easier to. I always post there where I'm gonna be, where I'm gonna show. I always post a little bit of updates of how, like the process of some of my paintings. Sometimes, a lot of times, I post my Coco, which is my dog, which is crazy. She's
We
always
didn't
at
get
my
to see
studio.
today.
Huh? She's
Who
always
we
at my
didn't get
studio
to
with
see.
me.
She's there somewhere.
She's there with somewhere. So she's like resting right there. Coco. Coco. So
She's
she's always
occupied.
with me. Always
Well,
with.
I'm so glad you were generous with your time to spend it with us today. And I really do. I'm a big fan of your work. It's one of the pieces I walk by in the house every day and look at it and just smile. It's a beautiful piece.
Tanji, thank you so much. I mean, that means really so much. And thank you for the opportunity to have me in your show and your beautiful show and being able to give me the opportunity to keep sharing my message with the world.
Absolutely. And we'll check back with you.
Yes,
The next series you get going, let us know. We'll
I
share it with
will.
everyone.
I will for sure.
Beauty
Definitely.
needs to be shared, right?
Oh, thank you. Thank
It's
you
true. Thank
so
you very
much.
much, Leticia.
Thank you to you and everybody that watched it. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Leticia's walkers are as inspiring as they are beautiful. And, so is she. I absolutely loved her analogy of how a full moon lights a dark sky without being a source of light itself. It gets its light from the sun, but yet the entire night is lit up. If you think about it, we're a lot like the moon. Without a source of light, our lives can be pretty dark too. I'm very grateful to God that that doesn't have to be the case. I hope you enjoyed meeting Leticia as much as I did. You can follow her on Instagram. I do, and it's always fun to see her work. I want to thank you so much for listening and for watching. If you're not watching, you can catch us on YouTube at Good Taste with Tangi. And of course, Instagram is Good Taste TV. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Get social with us. Follow us on Instagram at Good Taste TV.